Hey guys, I'm going to be doing some how-to videos on how to solve a Rubik's Cube. I'm going to start with the 3x3 cube. This is something, one of my, I guess, hobbies or talents, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. I'm going to teach you how to do the same thing though. Yeah, just something fun and, you know, with practice you can realize you actually are smart enough to solve this. It just takes practice, okay? I'll teach you the steps on how to do it. I'm going to be doing what's called, I'm going to teach you a variation of the standard way of solving it, but now what's different about what I'm teaching you versus what you can get off of other YouTube videos or websites? Most of those sites and videos are only going to teach you the pure basic algorithm. Look for this condition, and then when you see this condition, do that or do a certain set of steps, and you have to learn the notation on on how it's documented. So like you'll have like the let's say this facing you, the front face, and then the back face would be the green side because uh, now remember now there are six colors. There are always two colors that are similar to each other. So there's yellow. The opposite side will be white. You got blue. The opposite side is green. And then you got red. The opposite side is orange. Okay, so what I usually do is I like to solve the white side first. Now, what I do is a variation of what the standard method, which is called the first two layers method, or F2L. You'll see. But what I'm going to be showing you here is a little bit more of a theory on what exactly you're trying to accomplish, and not just following the algorithm. In fact, I probably won't even be using any kind of like algorithm or explaining the like the color the side the face sides whatever like front. Okay, it's front, back, up, up face, down face, and then left and right face as it's facing you. So um, forgive me on this because um, I believe I'm looking at this. I'm looking at a mirrored version of what I'm really looking at in person on here. So I will have some difficulty by trying to figure out which side I'm actually looking at. From my perspective, let's say, or okay, from the camera's perspective, this here should be the left face. This should be the right face. But it might actually look the opposite direction from you. I don't know. We'll see. Because sometimes these cameras show on the opposite version. But anyway, just the basic concept here. First two layers method is, what it means is, so if I'm trying to solve the white face first, okay, everything that has white somewhere on it, whether it's an edge or a corner, if there's white anywhere on it, that's the first layer. If there's an edge piece, I mean, if it's only an edge piece and it does not have white or yellow on it, then it's the second layer. And then the third layer will be any piece anywhere that has yellow on it. So, and that's the process. So the standard way is solve the first layer first, which I've got my finger on here. Once that's solved, move on to the second layer and solve this section. And once you're done with that, then solve this the top layer. And there's multiple steps to solving the top layer. So we'll work on that later. But I'm going to be teaching you what's a variation of that, though. That's called the Jessica method. Now, the difference between Jessica method and the F2L method, or the standard F2L, I should say, is it's virtually identical, except when I'm solving the first two layers. Okay, so normally what I do is, they both start out the same. I'm going to solve both, just the edge pieces only. The edge pieces are the two color only pieces here. Solve those first, and once those are solved, the standard way would be solve these corners on their own, and then after that work these. But what I do with the Jessica method, which was innovated by a woman by the name of Jessica, of course. Instead of solving these individually, what I do is I bring the pieces up here in a way, and I bring them together in the correct orientation next to each other, and then once they're next to each other the way I need them to be, then I install them as a pair at the same time right here. And then once, so I'm solving the first two layers simultaneously when I'm doing that. Okay, so it's the only real difference between the Jessica method and the standard F2L method. So if you already have kind of an idea on how to solve just the first layer and then work the second layer, maybe you've done algorithms and you just want to get a little bit of understanding of what you're doing and not just, well, hey, I see this, I do that kind of thing. Because understanding what you're doing will help you a lot with being able to solve the cube more quickly, or and and having a better understanding of what you're trying to do. Because like I say, I think having a better grasp on the theory of what you're trying to do will help a lot with getting your brain working on why you're what you're doing and why you're trying to do it. So, all right, that's all for the intro. I'm gonna go ahead and move on. I'm gonna scramble the cube and I'll start working the. I'll explain. I'll do a demo on how to solve the first two layers, or the first layer edges first.